subsidies that are assigned.
Don't follow, support. Support Revive Radio and connect with us on all social sites at Revive_P.O.C. Support Revive Radio. ReviveIsAlive.com.
Yep, you know what time it is, man. It's me, your girl P.O.C, host of Revive Radio. I need you all out there to do one thing for me right now. Spread the word, spread the message that Revive is alive. Once again, Revive is alive. And I need you guys to go check out our website at ReviveIsAlive.com. Once again, ReviveIsAlive.com. And follow us Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Revive_P.O.C.
You are listening to Revive Radio. The views and opinions expressed on Revive Radio does not necessarily reflect ownership, management, and advertisers of Revive Radio.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You already know what time it is. ReviveIsAlive.com. Once again, ReviveIsAlive.com. Tune in. Revive is alive. Welcome to Revive. It's about that time. Welcome to Revive. It's about that time. All I need is one mic. You know what time it is. Open up your ears. You know what time it is. Open up your mind. It's about that time. It's your girl P.O.C. Hey. It's your girl P.O.C. Hey. Proof of consciousness. Proof of consciousness. P.O.C. You know what time it is. Open up your ears. You know what time it is. Open up your mind. All I need is it's about that time. Welcome to Revive. Welcome to Revive. Welcome to Revive. Yep. You already know what time it is, man. It's me, your girl P.O.C, host of Revive Radio. We are back live on Revive is Alive. Revive is Alive. ReviveIsAlive.com. Turn your radios up. Spread the word. Spread the message, man. Today is Monday, so you already know each and every Monday we got Money Talks Monday live here on Revive Radio with my guy Russell Dinkens, man. I'm excited to be sitting next to this guy each and every Monday because I know I'm going to educate myself and we're going to educate you guys out there, man, because you already know Revive Radio. We are live 24/7 a.m. to the p.m. and everything we do is a football effect, man. We want to definitely give back to the community. We want to definitely give back to our supporters, and one way to do that is help you to keep some money in your pocket. You feel me, Russ, man? We want to help these people keep some money in their pocket, and then also understand the power of income. You know, understand the power of 7 streams of income, understanding how you too can be a business, you too can be a corporation. You know what I mean? And this guy right here, man, he gonna teach us how to do that. Russ, how you feeling this morning?
I'm well. Actually, I actually dragging a little bit. I went to my mentees events last night.
Okay.
Natasha had an event out in Norristown. Hail the King, H-A-L-E, the King. It's honoring men of color, black men,
awesome.
in fashion and things of that nature. So when you get an opportunity to, check out her clothing line.
Awesome. And when you say, honoring black men in fashion, like what does that look like?
Well, she makes garments for both men and women,
okay.
but she wanted to name her brand in honor of our men.
Okay, so that means you were stepping out last night. You was sharp.
A little bit.
A little bit. You buy a lady a drink or two,
It was open bar.
Open bar. So you saved some money last night.
Yeah. She did it really nice. It was an open bar. It was food there. Then it was an after party. She sent limousines out for certain people. It was great.
That's love. So let's go ahead and get into it this morning. What you got for the people? It's Money Talk Mondays.
Right. So we're piggybacking off a discussion that we had last week in terms of every week going forward, we're going to talk about the aspects of putting together a business. And the first thing, the nucleus of putting together a business, of course, is your idea. Now, how do you differentiate between your idea being something that you're supposed to execute versus a fleeting thought? Mm-hmm. Now, the thing of it is that I do believe that the universe is instrumental in all that we do. Mm-hmm. So a fleeting thought would be, of course, if you say, you know what, it'd be nice if I do this, that, or the other thing, and that comes into your mind, but you really don't have anything behind it as to how you will execute it or anything like that. What's in your plan, design, or in your journey or your mission will be something that comes into your mind that nags at you that you can't shake loose. And then you actually, so you think about it while you're at work, and it crosses your mind while you're at the gym, and it crosses your mind again while you're walking down the street. And those things are, I believe, are destiny. That's what you're supposed to do. Okay. So once you get that cross that threshold, okay, listen, I have this thing in my mind, I can't shake it loose. Now, is it part of your passion? Yes, it is part of my passion. I can see myself doing that. Now, this is the critical part. This is usually where the F word creeps in, and that's fear. Because once you say, okay, listen, this is something that I like to do, I think I'll be good at. It's either good if it's a social service, it'll be good for the community. If it's capitalistic, it'll be good because of great jobs and opportunities for other people. Now what do? And that's where people usually get stuck. They get in that crisis of confidence, and they never move beyond that point. Now, of course, the universe blessed you with opportunity. It blessed you with a time-sensitive opportunity, and now you got to execute it. But far too often, we actually go bounce these our life mission off of other people, and that is not part of their mission, nor was it part of yours to go run around and try to solicit support for what you were given naturally.
What do you mean by support? You mean
solicit
support?
Well, I mean that you
solicit opinions, maybe?
Right. Basically, or support, because in this society we're always looking for somebody to support us. That's the thing. If you're going to have an event, come out and support me. It's my birthday, support me, and everything. We use that word a lot, but I'm trying to impress upon people that once you have been given that mission from somewhere else, it's already supported. And what you do is you unsupport it by running around talking to your friends and your relatives and other people about, should I do this? I don't know. It's been on my mind, and so forth. And when you get into that space, you have given your power over to someone else to judge you or to come up with different things that will dissuade you from your mission. Now, sometimes they don't do it on purpose. It's not malicious, but you're asking somebody about your mission, and it's not theirs. So they're talking to you from their mission perspective. No, that doesn't seem to make sense. I don't think that you should do that. I think you should stay at your job and maybe consider that part-time, like it's your hobby or something like that. This is good sound advice from their perspective, but it's not good advice from where you sit. So once you actually figure out, okay, all right, I have the idea. I believe the universe has blessed me with the idea. I'm not letting fear control my next steps. Now you have to look for sources and resources to make that dream come alive.
Can we break down what fear could possibly be? Fear could possibly be the fact that you don't have enough money to start. Fear could probably be the fact that you don't have the equipment to get started, maybe.
Right.
So tangible fear or intangible fear.
So fear actually goes a little bit deeper than that. Fear is generational fear.
Okay.
I have never seen anyone in my family doing the entrepreneurial.
Okay.
I have always had a 9 to 5. Again, how do I capitalize the situation? Do I really feel confident enough to share this idea with others that could be my strategic partners, i.e. my sources and resources, to accomplish this? So when you get out of that, and then it also comes down to where you are on a social economic scale, because in this particular society, depending on where you fall, it's already innately built some fears about you can't do this and you can't do that, or whatever. So once you overcome or address those fears or acknowledge it, maybe the fact that the fear doesn't go away, but you acknowledge that it exists. And once you acknowledge fear exists, you really have beaten it.
Facts. I definitely agree with you on that one.
Right. So at that particular point in time, now you're ready to go ahead and find sources and resources. And sources and resources could be strategic alliances with people who are in that field that you're trying to pursue, or actually can help you in that respect. It also could be things that you have to embark on as far as capitalization. Maybe it's a traditional bank loan. Maybe it's getting some investors or whatever, or maybe it's you actually investing in your own business, baby stepping at a time. But the point that I want to stress, that if this is part of your destiny and your mission, all you have to do is apply effort to it, and then the universe will take over.
Facts.
So as long as you provide the effort that you need, because these things don't happen by happenstance. And even when it comes to business, we always like to look at that in terms of relationships and romance and things of that nature, but still the same thing as it pertains to business. Maybe you could do the exact same thing somebody else across the street did, and your business is not successful, and theirs is because that's what they were supposed to do. That's not necessarily what you were supposed to do. So you have to come and find out and get that. I mean, if you don't, And if you're a situation where you don't have it, you haven't been downloaded, meaning that you haven't had that epiphany, then and you're looking for that epiphany, then this is a time where you need to go in your space and get some quiet time. It will come to you. Whatever you're supposed to do will come to you. And you just got to get into that space. Why do you think that a lot of these movie stars and successful CEOs and so forth, once they get to a certain plateau, you always see them flying around the world to Tibet and different other places to meditate and get in tune? You listen to Will Smith and Jada in terms of what they do, and some of the things that Beyonce has talked about in terms of going places and getting in tune and getting themselves aligned so they can keep being successful.
Facts.
So you don't have to wait until you get to that point. I mean, maybe you need to tap in so that you can get to that point. And that really is everything. Because when you look at the most successful people, these are the people that do yoga. These are the people that take time to be by themselves and hear their inner voice. Your inner voice will drive you to exactly where you need to go. And it seems like a bunch of fluff, but it is absolutely truthful.
Definitely agree with you on that. And one thing that you said too about support, and then when you broke down, fear and what possible fear can be, when you say generational fear, that's where the support comes in too, because a lot of us don't want to start, or a lot of us don't want to continue because we're not getting that support from our families, from our intermediate family, our parents, different things like that. So we tend to shy away from, going into entrepreneurship, or we seen them fail, them try to start something and they didn't necessarily succeed. So then we feel as though we're not going to succeed as well. Yeah,
that's a good point that you make. Some people give up prematurely. Just because you haven't downloaded or get an idea and you have a passion behind it does not mean that your first time at bat you're going to hit a home run. And we talked about this briefly last week about learning how to fail. And what does failing do to you? Failing gives you the lesson and it prepares you for the next step. And once you overcome that hurdle of failure, and it hurts, and it's frustrating, and it might be financially draining, but if you know that's what you're supposed to be, if you know in your heart of hearts that's what you're supposed to be doing, the road will get easier, and then you'll hit that abundance. But it may not be the first time. It may not. They say the average time that a person actually tries before they become any measurement of success is about 7 times. But it might be 7 times 7. That might be your journey.
That number 7 is definitely powerful, because they say the same thing about having 7 streams of income. Once you have mastered the ability of getting 7 streams of income,
right,
you won't have any financial problems at all.
Right,
what I mean?
Right. And see, the thing of it is that especially for us as a people, we have been told for hundreds of years of things that you can't do. And when you start telling your people that you can't go but so far off of this plantation, and you can't go, and you can't vote, and you can't live in certain areas, and you can't participate in the military, and you can't work at these places and so forth and so on, go to these country clubs and whatever have you, then that word of can't comes down generationally. And then we find ourselves talking to our children in that same type of verbiage. You can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do the other thing. So it's not the fault of your parents or your parents' parents. It's what they've been exposed to, but you have to also realize that there was always first in everyone's family. There was the first person that went to high school. It was the first person that graduated high school. It was the first person that went to college. It's the first person that had a job in a white collar situation. It was the first person that joined the union. It's always first in everybody's family. So why does it have to stop being first?
Facts. Let me give you some numbers really quick. So, according to the Small Business Administration, more than half of small businesses survive for 5 years or more, and about 1/3 of them survive for more than 10 years. So 51% of small businesses are 10 years old or less, and 32% of small businesses are 5 years old or less. Roughly about 1/3 of new businesses exit within their first 2 years of being in business, and about half of them exit within their first 5 years of being business. The survival rate of a new small business has not been remarkably consistent over the past 10 years.
Right.
So it's not consistent right now. So according to the Small Business Administration, if you want to start a small business, it's not likely that you will last.
Right. And one of the is many factors to that is the type of business and the type of location that you actually pick, and a lot of different looking at your competition, and a lot of factors go into that. But one of the key factors into that is not knowing how to delegate. A lot of times we start small businesses, and it is our passion, and it is our mission, but we don't realize that if you squeeze anything that's living too hard, it will die. So you will have to, if you're actually inside of a business, you have to be able to delegate your business to responsibilities of other people. You have to trust other people that you bring into your business, that they're going to be able to execute some of the components of your business that needs to be done. Because if you don't do that, you'll find yourself being marketing, human resources, distribution, sales, the COO, the CMO, the COO, the CFO, and by the time you turn around, and you're the employee.
What's the COO again?
That's that's operations.
Okay, yes.
Right. So basically, so the operations officer. So basically, if you're holding all those hats, then who's growing the business? How does the business grow? If you actually are taking the order, let's say if you have a thing where you're making dresses, and you're actually taking the order and you're making the dresses, and you're going to the fittings, and this client is said they want to make changes, and it's 2 or 3 weeks for you to get the dress right or whatever, and by the time you get it right and give it to the person, okay, you made $700-800, but you made it over 3 or 4 weeks. And you haven't been able to do anything else. You haven't even scaled in your mind what happens if I get an order when I have 10 dresses.
And that's one of the reasons, that's one of the top 3 reasons why small businesses fail, again, according to the Small Business Administration, is low productivity, and low profits.
Right.
So meaning you're not able to put out that product fast enough for, the amount of people who are asking for it, which makes your business business faster. And
that exactly is the next component of actually your thought process. Once you actually think about what you want to do, and you got the passion, you got the drive and the desire, then you have to sit down and legitimately have a conversation with yourself as to what am I worth? Because here's the problem. Far too often in the society in which we live, other people tell us what we're worth. So if you apply for a job or whatever it is, the first thing we're going to do is go on Glassdoor and see what the industry says that job is worth. And then, or the employer says, okay, we're going to give you this amount to start and this amount incrementally and so forth. And then you buy into that because that's what I am worth. Even the athletes are told what they're worth. So when you start your own business, it's very hard for people to understand how to price themselves because you have to appraise yourself, or rather other people are praising you.
Facts.
So, and then the other thing about it is fear again. People are afraid to assign a number to themselves because it always seems like they're asking too much, because really society has taught you that you're not worth that much. So now you don't know how to adequately price yourself. So now when somebody's asking you how much is the dress, you're not looking at it from your entrepreneurial mind, your capitalistic mind. You're looking at what price point will be pleasing to them. And when you give that price point to them so that they'll be pleasing to them, then I will guarantee you they will overwork you for that little bit of money that you're going to make. So, and then the other thing about it is haggling. We tend to, as people newly in business, let people haggle the hell out of us.
Shout out to that vocabulary word.
Because
I appreciate that one, Russell.
Because what happens is that you start off knowing that, okay, well, if I got 20% margin, all right, so I'm going to tell this client that's $1,000, and the client says, I don't know, I really want your product. I really can't, 1,000 is a lot. How about I could do $675? And then you say, well, I at least got to get $750, because I at least got to get $750, $800. because now you figured that's what I paid. That's what's going to cost me to do it. But you just took your 20% off the top, so now you're working for free.
Yes, and then that's what I wanted to bring up. That's why I said shout out to that vocabulary word too, because when we talk about fear, people always, throw in the word debt. A lot of people are scared to jump out there because, when becoming a small business or entrepreneur, you have to invest in yourself. That's one of the biggest things you have to do. And the average U.S. small business owner has about $195,000 of debt, according to, a 2016 report from Experian, which is, a credit reporting financial service. And that's one of the biggest things that people fall short on, because they're like, I don't have this much money, I can't keep taking out money and different things like that, which is debt. So when you mention the word haggling, we're pretty much, taking money away from us just so we can make a sale. So we get the sale, but we still don't get no profit off of that sale.
Right.
And that's another thing that we fall short at, because we get excited about the sale, but there's no profit.
Right. So here's what the fallacy is in terms of small business. Like you'll hear people say, well, this is my first couple of ones. I want to get something on my Instagram showing that I made this or sold this or something like that.
That was a stab at millennials right there.
I'm trying to well, a little bit. I'm trying to build up my resume or whatever they call it. But if you look at, all right, do it this way. You get a store that opens up on the corner of your block, and they sell hoagies and have the little grocery store, the grocery items in there, typical corner store. Now, when they open up on the corner of your block, do they say, okay, listen, we're going to go ahead and sell everything today for $1 because we want the neighborhood to know that we're here and start to come here? Well, no. You walk in there day one, things cost what they cost. Now, some of the bigger stores, the chains, might open up in that fashion and say, okay, we're having a sale, because they can afford to invest in that situation. Exactly. You have nothing. You have to always consider the fact that you have to make a profit from day one. And only way that you don't have to do that is if you're able to sustain yourself and then go ahead and try to build a brand. But at the same time, you also got to realize sweat equity. How much is my time worth? And you have to if you're not able to hone in on that, then you're never going to be able to make a profit. And then going back to why small businesses fails, because not only can they do not delegate properly, they're working so many hours, and at the end of the day, they get discouraged because of the amount of money that they have made versus the hours they put into their business, and then they get burnt out and say that's not worth it, and they walk away. And that's because they didn't properly price themselves. They didn't stick to their guns, and they did not take really. They didn't treat themselves properly.
Facts.
So you have to treat yourself properly. They said, when you first get money, you're supposed to pay yourself, but you have to discern how much am I worth? How much do I want to lend my talent, my education, and my experience to this person for? And then you come up with a base number, and that base number is something that is, sometimes if you're constructing something for somebody, it might be 3 times the cost of material.
Okay.
If you're actually looking at it in terms of the way lawyers actually price themselves out, you might say, listen, my time expertise is worth at least $200 per hour, or whatever that number is, and that includes everything.
So do you separate the two? Like, do you say my product is worth this amount of money, but then I'm worth this amount of money? So if you want me to come with the product, you know what I mean? For example, like people who are motivational speakers, you know what I mean? They may have a book, but then they also can speak at the event. You know what I mean? Like, that's 2 different services that they're offering.
Well, if you're a motivational speaker, then that's the product in and of itself. If you want me to go and speak to your organization, it costs $1,000 plus travel expenses, or whatever it is.
That's your quote right there.
Well, I just threw that out there, but I'm just saying. But if that's the case, then you do it that way. But not when you have something tangible, like this bottle of water that's on the table. It's not like you went over to what's this from ShopRite? Like you went over to ShopRite and they say, listen, Tamara, this actually costs 10 cents, but because of the shipping and handling and everything else, it's going to now cost you $1.50 for this particular bottle of water. You don't need to know all that. Why? It's a bottle of water.
Exactly.
I mean, give me the bottom price and I'm out the door, because actually you might be dismayed the fact that it costs 10 cents and I'm paying $1.50. Now it's too expensive for you. So you have to be able to, but getting into your idea first and then figure out what you are worth, the value of yourself, that may not be, something that you could do overnight. That's something that you have to actually think about. You have to think about it and come up with something fair to yourself. And the thing about it is that your first customers, a lot of times people go out to family and friends. Well, family and friends may evaluate you differently than what you evaluate yourself. So when you say that I'm worth $250 an hour, they say, no, you're more like $45 an hour all day.
You.
Yeah,
They feel like they still know you.
Yeah, you like $45 an hour all day. So if you're going to make that dress, the first thing they're going to say to you, it's not like I'm going to Nordstrom to buy this dress. You making it. You know what I mean? So therefore, why can't you do? I mean, I know the material only costs about X amount of dollars. So therefore, but that's not a good yardstick of who you are. You know what I mean? So what I would do is find other people that you could actually sell your stuff to. Get over that crisis of confidence, so that when your friends and relatives come there and they try to haggle you, even if you might be able to wiggle, okay, I'll take 5% off, but that's it, because I got to make my money.
Yes.
I have to make my money. I'm not in business just to serve you. And you have a lot of people. All you have to do is just take a look at the music industry and the contracts that some of these people sign in the music industry, whereas though they have the TLC story where they actually have they're out there with videos and they got music playing and they're doing concerts and everything else, but they don't have any money. The money's going to the music company and they're making all the money, and these people are not making any money because these people didn't properly know what their talent was worth. Yes. And they didn't get their sources and resources being their strategic alliances in terms of entertainment lawyers and so forth, and people that could watch their back properly to negotiate a proper deal for them to walk away with what they needed to walk away with. That's, again, they were given talent that came from elsewhere, and it was bestowed upon them to do something with it. They went and tried to do something with it, but they did not value what was given to them. And the thing about it is that's the way the universe works. If you don't value what is given to you, then it's actually it's taken away at a point in time.
Agreed.
So you have to strike while the iron's hot, cliche, but you have to actually understand what gift that's been given to you, and you have to sit there and properly align yourself with what does that is. Because here's the thing: if you go to college and you got $90,000 sitting in student loan somewhere, and you actually using that expertise that you got from college to do whatever it is that you're trying to do, then people have to pay for that. The fact that you have to travel here and there, people have to pay for that. You have to buy insurance, and you have to hire some employees, you got suppliers, you got vendors and stuff like that. People are paying for that. So when they buy that product from you, they're paying for all of those things. And then that's what you have to crunch your own numbers. I mean, or you come to someone like myself and we can sit down and we can talk about it, but you got to be able to crunch your own numbers and see what your own needs are.
So pretty much what we learned today, because we got to wrap it up, is that start with an idea. Once you have an idea, map it out. That does not mean start the business plan.
Right. That
means just simply map out what the idea is. If you have a passion for that, if you have a drive for that, if it's going to be something that's going to make you money.
Right, and try to pull it apart yourself. Sit there without fear, just critically. Does this make sense? Is this the right time? Is this a fleeting thought, or is this a passion-driven mission? Okay. And then once you start to tug and pull on that, and you discern the fact that it is something that you need to do, and it's powerful, and it's empowering you and other people, then you have no other choice but to execute.
All right, I'm with it, man. It's your guy, Russell Dinks, man. Each and every Monday, Money Talk Mondays, live here on Revive Radio. Yo, Russell, tell them how they can find you, how they can stay locked, also how they can get these CDLs.
Right. Go to www.ineedacdl.com. ineedacdl.com. If you have anybody that you want to embark in a driving career, please direct them to that. If you want to get in touch with me for any other reason, there's a contact form on there for you to contact me. It'll come straight to my phone.
Yes. For these next couple of weeks, once again, man, we will be teaching you guys how to, create and start an effective business plan. Every business, has a business plan. Every entrepreneur has a business plan, and you can learn how to create one, and make one here live on Revive Radio. Shout out to my guy Russell, man. Each and every Monday, turn your radios up. We'll be back tomorrow starting at 7 a.m. We got the Assassins coming through. We got the DJ Duo. Make sure you guys spread the word, spread the message. If you have some questions or comments about today's episode or any questions about money in general, financial literacy, send it our way at revive.poc@gmail.com. Follow us Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at revive_POC. Subscribe to that YouTube channel as well as that newsletter so you can stay locked with everything we got going on, man. Tomorrow's Tuesday. Turn your radios up. Let's go. It's Meet Your Girl POC. Shout out to Tab Money Harmony, the goddess.
It's important because y'all tell me the things.
Revive is alive. Once again, Revive is alive. I want you guys out there to follow us Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at Revive_POC. And don't forget to subscribe to that Revive newsletter where you can find at ReviveIsAlive.com. Once again, that is ReviveIsAlive.com. Spread the word, spread the message. It's Meet Your Girl POC, host of Revive Radio.